Welcome back to the iConis podcast. And today we're going to talk about maybe one or two facts and something that makes me really laugh about Wolverine. Hey everyone, thank you so much. Once again, this is Barry 3D from the iConis podcast. I'm one of the hosts. And as always, remember, like, subscribe, and share. Let's get right down to it. So a lot of people talk about Wolverine, the character. We all know him, love him to death from the X-Men, but there's a couple of things that I'm not sure if people knew, and if they didn't, we're going to find out right now. So way back in the day, Wolverine made his first appearance, as a lot of people say, in Hulk issue number 181. To me, I think his first appearance was in issue 180 because he shows up on the last page. So what counts as a first appearance? The first time we see the character, or the first time the character is in action? Because that's a question that you can pose. You know, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? We'll never know. Maybe someone knows. Reach down below. Let us know in the comments. Great to hear all that feedback back and figure that out. Now, here's one of the other facts. When Wolverine made his first appearance, we didn't know much about Wolverine. He just showed up. He was in this yellow costume. He's fighting the Hulk. He's a Canadian agent, fought the Hulk out in the Rockies. And, you know, us as Canadians thought he was tough enough with, you know, a pack of smokes, I guess, and Molson beer and could take on the Hulk. But hey, we didn't know anything about his past. We didn't even know about his claws. At first, it seemed that his claws were supposed to be a part of the costume and not a part of his body, because every time you saw him, the claws were extended. They were never retracted. Of course, we know now how that whole story plays out, where he falls in. And then, of course, Wolverine going from that appearance to then quickly being, you know, recruited in the new X-Men, the Giant Size X-Men issue, and that story and how that leads to where we have Wolverine now and everything we know about him. But here's one thing that made me look twice, and I have to say, when Wolverine takes off his mask, so there's a couple of things. When we go into the archives, first things, there's a couple of things. One, all the time they refer to him as Wolverine. He was very antisocial. That character was not even supposed to survive. He was supposed to die early on, and they decided to keep him on because I guess his popularity was growing. And then, of course, John Bryan, who was also the artist and a Canadian, you know, vouched to keep the character on there. He's going to get better and fans will love him. He was right, obviously, because now we've got movies about him, right? He's a big budget money-making machine. Everyone teams up with Wolverine if your book sales are going a little bit low or you want to develop interest in a new project. There we go. That, on top of it, you have a scene with Nightcrawler and Wolverine talking, and Wolverine's got his mask off, and someone refers to Wolverine as like, "Hey, Logan, how you doing?" And he's like, "Hey, hey, how's it going?" And Nightcrawler's like, "Wait a minute, your name is Logan? I never knew your name was Logan." He was like, "Well, you never asked." As funny as that is, it makes very simple sense to Wolverine. If you don't ask him, he's going to figure, oh, well, these guys are a bunch of, you know, noobs, dweebs, whatever, numpties. He's there, but at the same time, he just does what he has to do. Of course, he was very antisocial character. You smell it over time. But with the mask off, every artist usually gets inspiration to say, hey, where am I going to draw the inspiration from to create this character's look, their aesthetic, the whole 9 yards. Sometimes it's, you know, it's to the imagination how the character looks. Sometimes it's off a real person. With Wolverine, Logan, he was based off a real person. Facially wise, he was based off the American actor, and his name was Paul D'Amato. So Paul D'Amato was, let's put it, the father of Wolverine. John looked and liked his look and put him in there. And of course, where do we know Paul from? Well, he played Dr. Hook in the movie Slapshot. So it's a movie about playing hockey. And if you look at Paul's face, he's got the eyes, the side, you know, the chops at the side, his hair, the whole 9 yards, everything about him. If you go on his Wikipedia page, you'll see one picture of him, black and white. That's Logan without the mask. Down to the mouth. I mean, how reminiscent is that to see that actor around? Now, you know, this actor has passed away. He's passed away many years ago. So, you know, sorry, my apologies. He passed away last year in February 24th of 2024. Sorry, February 19th of 2024. So it's almost a year. It's the sad shame that they never tried to because he's an actor, even though he's retired, they should have given him a cameo on one of the Hugh Jackman Wolverine movies. I think that would have been a nice Easter egg that would have had fans going in a feeding frenzy, so to speak, and we missed out from there. That being said, this is where the character had his look from. So one, John Bryan being Canadian made, emphasized the Canadian roots. I think it opened up a lot of American readers to life and culture in Canada, so we don't all live in igloos, but we might all say, that's okay. The only thing missing was Tim Hortons, but we did represent everything else there in a positive light. There were some good cameos by, Pierre Trudeau, because at the time he was the Prime Minister of Canada, and that links into Department H. So there was nice little Easter eggs there within the books if you read Alpha Flight or you read early issues of the X-Men. Now, getting to that, the funniest thing I've ever seen, in my opinion, in an X-Men book was dealing with the whole Phoenix, Mcron Crystal scenario, storyline, story arc. X-Men issue 108 had the best moment for Wolverine in there that made me laugh out loud. Wolverine, all the X-Men with the Starjammers are on a planet. They are coming close to the Mcron Crystal. They're tracking it down. And of course, the Guardian, his name's Jeff, J-A-H-F. I'll call him Jeff or Jafe. He shows up and he's a short little guy. Now keep in mind, Wolverine's like 5'5" or 5'3", 5'5". That's Wolverine's true height in the comic book. And this alien who shows up is like 3 foot and he's got a cigar. Now, of course, Wolverine likes to smoke cigars. This is after they run into the Imperial Guard. So Wolverine has on what I like to call his clone's outfit, which is Fang from the Imperial Guard, that, Gladiator and so forth. Okay. On the planet side, they're going and Cyclops is like, hey, maybe we should just kind of, instead of walking in boldly, let's use level heads instead of force. And Wolverine's answer is, this guy's a pipsqueak. There's nothing to worry about him. And next panel, all you hear is, pow! Next panel, off planet in orbit is the Starjammer. And all you see is the trajectory. You just see the lines leaving the planet. And, Starsky or one of the Starjammers who's on board the Starjammer ship turns around and he goes, is everything okay? It's like, yeah, we just lost one of our teammates. Like, what happened? It's like, well, Wolverine just got punched. Do you have him? It's like, yes, I have him on my sensors. What's he doing? Escape velocity. This little alien punched Wolverine so hard, he sent him into orbit. Not even orbit. Escape velocity. He was leaving the planet. Like, he left the planet through the atmosphere, stratospheres, and he's gone. And the Starjammer had to go into high gear to track Wolverine down, get a tractor beam, and pull him back aboard the ship. Now, this is really before they fully established Wolverine's healing factor, him having adamantium bones, to the general public, but that's it. And now, once again, Wolverine is probably the shortest X-Men to date on the team at that time. Being a bully to someone shorter and got 5 across the eyes, as my cousin Rod would say. Funniest scene, worth the read. Go in your archives. If not, go to your local comic book store, buy issue number 108 of the X-Men, read it for that panel, and think about what just happened. Extremely funny. On that note, I'm Barry from the iConis podcast. Remember, like, subscribe, and share. Remember, this whole world was created by a pencil, a piece of paper, and lots of imagination. Keep on dreaming, and keep your guard up.